Okay, Edward, you will complete the problem. You will do a new video presenting the final result. So if you remember, the trapezoidal rules say that the area under the curve and the curve of this function f of theta equal 1 square root of 1 minus 2/3 sine square of theta. The area under the curve of f of theta, you can represent f of theta. Use the algebra of your calculators and maybe something like this. Repeat it. Yes, sine square, maybe something like this. Well, please look for this graph, the graph of this function. So the area, according to the trapezoidal rule, the area, if you divide in 4 parts, a0, v is pi divided by 2, so v minus a divided by 4 will be pi divided by 8, pi divided by 2 divided by 4 is pi divided by 8, pi divided by 8 divided by 2 is pi divided by 16. So the area is pi divided by 16, this is pi divided by 16, f of 0, 2f of x1, 2f of x2, 2f of x3, 1f of x4, where x0 is the initial point, the 0, x1 is the 0 plus delta x is here, delta x is pi divided by 8, x2 is the following point is the previous point, pi divided by 8, plus delta x, so it's pi divided by 4. The third point is the previous point, pi divided by 4, plus delta x. Delta x is pi divided by 8, so it will be 3 pi divided by 8. And the last point is the previous point plus the delta x, which is pi divided by 8, which is the last point, pi divided by 2. So we apply the trapezoidal rule, and remember that the area is the area of this curve, of the function f of theta. So there is a factor here, 8 square root of 3, so whatever you find here, you have to multiply by 8 square root of 3. And we have to check that the area will be around 1750, something like this. Of course, the area will improve if I make delta x smaller. If I divide instead of n equal 4, n equal 8, so I will put a point in the middle, a point in the middle, a point in the middle. I will increase the precision. The error will be diminished. Well, and let's go to do it. So it's a question of having the calculator. That is why I didn't do. So I have to calculate this area. So I have to calculate v minus a divided by 2n. I know it's pi divided by 16. This is pi divided by 16. F of 0, f of x1. F of 0 is f of 0. F of x0. F of x0 is f of x0. F of x1 is f of pi divided by 8. F of pi divided by 8 is here, is a square root of 1 minus sine square of pi divided by 8. Pi divided by 8 is, pi divided by 2 is 90 degrees. Pi divided by 8 is 90 degrees, like 15 degrees, pi divided by 8. And sine square of pi divided by 8, remember that if you use your calculator, you need to be in radians mode, otherwise you will not find 0.38 for sine of pi divided by 8, and this is sine square, so 0.38. Pi divided by 4 is sine square of pi divided by 4, and sine of pi divided by 4 is 0.7, so square, or square root of sine square of pi divided by 4 is sine square of pi divided by 4 plus cosine square of pi divided by 4, this is 1. But when it's pi divided by 4, the sine and the cosine are equal. So there are 2 times 1. So sine square of pi divided by 4 is 1/2. So sine, of pi divided by 4. So sine of pi divided by 4 is 1 divided by square root of 2. So 1 divided by square root of 2, should be 0.7. So sine square, let me check it. Yes, it's correct. Okay. So I didn't make mistake. So I found this. So now the area, let me find the area will be approximately, let me see what it say here, 8 square root of 3. 8 square root of 3 is 8 by 1.7. And now the area is v minus a divided by 2n, which is pi divided by 16. So I have to multiply by 314 divided by 16. And now it comes f of 0, 1, plus 2 times f of x1. Well, you calculate this amount, plus 2 times, let's go to calculate this amount. It will be 0.38 multiplied by 0.38, 0.144 minus 1, change the sign, plus multiply by minus 1, 0.85, square root of 0.85, more or less 0.85 square root, so it will be like 0.92. 0.92, so please you do the calculation. 2 times 0.92 plus 2 times this amount plus 2 times this amount plus 1 times 0. Make it and let me know if this is around, should be smaller than 1744. It should be a little bit smaller, should be 17. Why smaller? You explain why. Because the trapezoidal rule, there are functions like the trapezoidal rule, the area is a little bit smaller than the real area. So this should be 16.50, maybe 16.80. Check it. If you divide in 8 parts, you will find maybe 17. You divide in 16 parts, you maybe find next to the real answer, which is 17. I don't remember 1747. Okay, it's your turn. Enjoy and do a good video.